Hi guys, welcome. I'm Jen Frost with Faith in Fabric, and I'm excited to be here with you today on the Quilt Candy blog tour. Knowing that so many quilt shops today are not able to honestly be going to shows and be visiting with you guys and going to a lot of the guilds that are out there, we wanted to come to you this way. So it's really nice. Welcome to my studio. I spent a lot of time today cleaning it for you guys. Actually, I cleaned this area. The area back there is a total mess and I don't want you to look that way. So we're gonna keep the camera focused over here. This is where all the sewing happens. So my husband is a general contractor and I feel very fortunate because he built this space for me. I don't know, probably about 4 or 5 years ago. This is also our homeschool room, but what you can't see behind the camera, that's where our homeschool desk is. So we're actually a part-time homeschool family anyway, which is really nice. And so this whole transition of everybody being home has been a little bit easier for us, I think, than it has been for some other families. But welcome. I'm so excited from Arizona. It's nice to see you guys. I'm in San Diego, so we're practically neighbors here. You know, I was trying to think of the best way to share my quilts with you guys today, and I thought I would just go through it liturgically. So Faith in Fabric, I'm Catholic, and that's an inspiration for a lot of my quilts. And those are actually a lot of the quilts I'm going to share with you today. So liturgically, when you think about the liturgical year, we kind of start in Advent, and then we go to Christmas, and then we go to Lent, and then we go to Easter. So we're going to look at the quilts in that order. So just before Advent starts is Thanksgiving. So we're going to start there. So this is a very small little wall hanging I have for Thanksgiving. You can see it says give thanks and praise. And you can see these are I'm reading your comments at the same time. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys can see these. So you can see this is our little Thanksgiving give thanks and praise quilt. It's a lot of traditional piecing and it's got a little bit of applique as well. So this is a wall hanging size. I like to pop this up on our walls for usually probably like in September, October, we'll put it up and it just brings a lot of those nice, really fall colors. I'm gonna stack these over here so you can kind of see them. The next one I have is for Advent. This one has a good story. This is not my quilt. It's my pattern, but not my quilt. I made the very bad mistake of giving away my original, which you should never, ever, ever do. At least if you don't like to do things over. I'm not a do-over kind of person. So once I make something once, I don't really want to do it a second time. So this is actually from one of the pattern testers. All our patterns are all tested. Sue is a really beautiful sewist. So she made this one. Hold that up for a second there. What's neat about this quilt is it comes as a panel quilt. So for Advent, you light a different candle each week of Advent. So the first week, second week, third week, fourth week. With this quilt, it's nice because it can be made 3 different ways. So this is the wall hanging size. It makes a decent sized wall hanging. And so you can put them in the floor block this way. You can also do a 4 block going widthwise, I guess that would be. And you can make a table runner, or you can go long ways to make a banner. So this is nice because it's pretty versatile. So you can start your Advent off well. And then that brings us to Christmas. So this is a fun little Christmas pattern I made. Hold that one up there for you. Can you guys see that okay? So this one is neat. I'll bring it a little closer so you can see it. The whole back here is actually all traditional piecing. So these are all the stars. This is actually a really neat fabric because it glows in the dark. I forget who makes this, but it's a lot of fun to see that glow. And then the bottom half, there's the angel bringing the good news to the shepherds. You can see there's all the little shepherds on the bottom. And then here's the Holy Family. And then here are the 3 wise men coming. So the whole bottom is applique. But I just love how this kind of captures the whole Christmas scene all in one. The next one's my favorite. So traditional piecing is fun. My favorite style of quilting is paper piecing. And that's this one. So this quilt is Mary and Jesus. I'm a mom. I have a little man. He's 8 years old. And I just kind of remember having that feeling, just gazing at him, just loving him, just staring at him. So I'm gonna bring this a little closer so you guys can kind of see. Ooh, bad light coming through the blinds. So you'll see this is all paper pieced. And then I did do some quilting to radiate around the lines just to kind of give that, that glowing aura feel. So I'm really happy with this one. This is, like I said, this is probably my favorite. So that takes us through, what have we done here? We've done Advent, we've done Christmas. And so after Christmas, fast forward a couple months, you get to Lent, which is what we're in now. And I love that quote that everyone talks about, how this is like the lentiest Lent we've ever lented, because it really is. So this quilt is for Holy Week. So this was on Holy Thursday. This is the foot washing. I'm going to show you a mistake I actually made on this quilt. So this is paper pieced as well. So you can kind of see this one here. So this is Jesus washing Peter's feet. And I'll show you the mistake I made on this one is, I don't know if you can see this up close. So they talked about how the upper room was like a dirt floor. Well, I went for a dirt floor, but that also matched their fleshy arms and legs. And so I tried to do a little bit of stitching here to kind of make the floor stand out more. I still don't love it. So I think this is one of those quilts that I'm just gonna have to at some point redo. It's funny, I really like all the other colors, but just not that spot. So Holy Thursday, which is going to be coming up actually next week. I can't believe it. Time feels so off right now. I'm having a hard time keeping track of which day is which. So Holy Thursday, Good Friday is next. This is a huge quilt, and I'm not sure how to show you. This quilt actually comes in 3 different sizes. This is the big one, all made with 9-inch blocks, and there's one made with 6-inch blocks, and there's one made with these little tiny 3-inch blocks, and that makes a nice wall hanging size. I just felt like going big on this one, so we're going to see how much of this I can get in the camera for you. So on Good Friday was the day of the crucifixion. So I really wanted to try to capture that moment when the sky went dark and there was that little bit of hope that I like to hope everybody had it. Honestly, I hope we still have today. So let's see how we can do this. I hope you guys can see this. I'm going to peek around the side. So it's actually an off-center quilt. So you can see the 3 crosses all on Golgotha. Golgotha itself is all black pieced. And this is all radiating out with the light. I'll show you the side of it now. Oh, I told you this was a big one. so this is the one that we have for Good Friday. Let that sit there. And then after that comes Easter Sunday. Actually, Holy Saturday comes next, but I don't really think they did a whole lot besides wait that day. That wouldn't make for a very exciting quilt. So then here is Easter Sunday. This one's called Risen. So this one is just a lot more of the joy of that day. So you can see I did this as a watercolor quilt. So it really just brings all the colors and just tries to let them flow out, almost like a watercolor brush would. This was a lot of fun to try to figure out the colors on because I wanted to be very intentional with the colors, so it had that very watercolor feel to it. So there's that one. After Easter Sunday then, we have Pentecost. This is a small one. Don't worry, this one will fit in the camera. So here's your Holy Spirit coming down. This is all little tiny piecing. This is fun because this was a good scrap buster. This is actually strip piecing in the back, so this came together like that. And then this is applique. And then I just did a very, very heavy stitching you can see around the edges to get the flames down. So this is a nice little banner quilt. You can see we kind of hang this one up, same thing at our house. And then lastly, we've got Sacred Heart. So this one is fun. This is paper pieced. That's how you can make those super, super, super sharp edges. And then there's a little bit of applique here and here. And then I just took all the little scrap pieces and you can kind of see here, put those together just to add a little bit of oomph to it. So those are the quilts I have to share with you today. I love sewing. I love teaching sewing. You can see actually in my studio here, I normally have a bunch of little kids coming in and out. We start off sewing. These are Sew-A-Saint dolls. I'm going to share these with you. So these are little dolls I designed in the fabric, and they have a little front and a little back. And they come in little kits like this. So this was something I started creating because I got a lot of feedback from some of my quilt friends actually just going, this is great, but I want to teach my kids, and what do you have that's a lot easier? So I came up with this little concept. So the little fabric panels come together, and you can see this is Our Lady Guadalupe. She's a popular one, and so is St. Michael for the boys. And they're just really easy little dolls. The kids can make them in like an hour and play with them. So I enjoy making those. I feel like I'm popping in and out of camera here. And then also for Advent, I started coming up with some little sewing projects. So this is like, I'm going to call it like a quasi quilt. So you can see there is some quilting on here. This is a panel you can buy. And then each week of Advent, you can actually light your little candles, which is super fun. It's a lot safer than having a real Advent wreath too, although we still do that. But yeah, this is a neat little project. So this one is also just, again, a very good beginner sewing project. But those are all the quilts I have. It's been so nice to be with you guys. I hope I haven't gone over my 15 minutes. I'd like to invite you to join me. We're going to do a Quilt Along, my very first one, starting in May. It's a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek Quilt Along. I talked to a lot of my friends, and they're all like, oh my gosh, I just feel so crabby and so grumpy and with everything going on. So our Quilt Along is going to be making the crab quilt. So totally not a faith quilt on this one. But we'll be making a bunch of little crabs, and we can all be crabby together because misery loves company. I think that's how the expression goes. So that'll be starting on May 1st, and I would absolutely invite you guys to join me for that. I would love to see you there. And yeah, that's what we've got. I hope to see you guys in person when all this lifts. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. It was great to spend the day with you guys, and we will talk to you soon. Stay healthy and take care. Bye-bye.